What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are live once again. Hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. Let's check our audio levels. All right. Happy to see everybody. Great to be here once again. Welcome to another episode of Apple Home Talk Live, where we will discuss all things Apple Home and smart home related. We got a few things to discuss today, a couple of new products and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll just, kind of talk shop a little bit, and I'll answer questions as much as I can a little bit later in the stream. So let's say hi to some folks first as we sort of get going. I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Larry, what's up, Larry? Dawn, I see George is in the chat. What's up, George? Good buddy George is in Miami right now. I saw that on your Instagram, George. I am a little bit jealous, extremely intoxicated at the moment. And you're on East Coast time too, same as me. So you're doing pretty good to be extremely intoxicated around this time. Must be a good day. Curious how long you're going to hang in there today. The streak continues. Thanks so much for joining us in another live stream, man. I'm glad you could be here. And yeah, it looks like you guys are having a blast down there. I'm a little bit jealous, I must say. Jeff from Michigan, let's go. What's up, Jeff? Hope you're doing all right this week. Michael Lewis, what's up, Michael? Torin is in the house, and Trent, what's up, Trent? George says, George, how many Apple products did you pre-order today? Yeah, might want to stay away from that online store if you've been drinking all afternoon. Or maybe not, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the fun. Let's see. George's got an amazing smart home. Yeah, he does. If you guys have not seen George's YouTube channel, he just released another smart home tour of his apartment, which is really cool. So I do get questions fairly often about like, what do I do if I live in an apartment or, if I'm renting or something? Great video to check out really for any smart home enthusiast, but especially I'd say if you're renting, you can actually do a whole lot with your smart home, even if you're renting. So, contrary to popular belief. Edgar, what's up, Edgar? Good to see you here, man. I hope you're doing well. Another awesome content creator there. Mark from Kansas. What's up, Mark? Hair Riots in the house. Steven from Denmark. Very nice. Yeah, man, I can't. Yeah, that's right. Edgar's down in Florida, too. I can't wait to go back down to Florida. I always enjoy going down there. I'm supposed to be going, I think we got at least 1 or 2 trips planned down to Florida. We're supposed to fly down to Florida, I think here in a few months, and we are still planning on it. Last I checked, I've kind of been talking about it because, I don't know, flying is kind of sketchy these days. Thump Jimmy, what's up, Thump Jimmy? Hunter, we got Huntsville in the house. Awesome. Good to see you here. All right, good to see everybody, man. So how's everybody doing? Anything new going on with your smart home? We got a few new products we'll get into here in just a second. But yeah, let me know how the weather's going and what you're up to. I know Trent said, I think you were running some Cat 6 for your new Aqara camera, if I'm not mistaken. You were saying, I think you're doing that before the stream, Trent mentioned to me. So anybody else working on some smart home stuff? We had some crazy weather today. I'm kind of having one of those days where I'm like, I feel like I've been trying to get going all day. I think that's because we woke up this morning and it was just like super gloomy and really kind of eerie outside. They actually canceled school, so hopefully we don't have any internet connection issues today, because sometimes it gets a little weird when the weather gets real crazy like that. But we had, we woke up to basically, not long after I woke up, we had tornado warnings and everything. So had to, kind of get prepared for that just in case, but everything moved through here anyways without any big issues. So that was nice. But yeah, it was pretty wild for a little bit this morning. Roosevelt, what's up? Oh, we got another Floridian in the house. What's up, Roosevelt? Roosevelt D, also in Florida. Let's see. Zane said, today I bought a Google Nest Hub trying to try something new, and I'm so happy I'm using Apple Home. I feel you, man. I kind of felt that way every time I venture out and try like one of the other major ecosystems. Buddy, I see you got a question there. I'm going to come back to questions in a minute, so I'll save that, and we'll get to questions in a little bit. Lurk Jerk's got a question too. We'll get to these questions also. I did also want to share with you guys too a little story that happened this week. In case anybody was kind of on the fence or thinking about, doing something like this. So I got a text message from my father earlier in the week and was like, long story short, he had some Aqara water sensors in his house. So I don't know if you guys remember a couple years ago, I think it was now, I set up kind of a real basic starter smart home setup at my parents' house. And this is not the first time. I think this is probably at least the second or third time where they got a notification from the water sensors. That was actually the main reason my parents wanted any of this like tech at their house, was for the water sensors. Whoops, where did my chat go? Let me see, let me bring that back. Okay, there we go. And yeah, so got another message, got a message from my dad. I think it was maybe Monday morning. He had actually just got back into town, I believe, and had water sensors going off. Something did happen where the room associations in HomeKit got off at some point. So we were kind of having trouble figuring out which room the leak was in. And that's because really, they don't mess around with the Aqara app or anything. They just use the home app. I set them up, so that's really all they had to do. And it hadn't been messed with in a while. Something messed up the room associations. But anyways, I checked the Aqara app and we're able to determine which sensor was actually throwing the leak error. He checked them all, and sure enough, their hot water heater had begun leaking. So really good that we were able to catch that before it caused more damage. Their hot water heater is actually in the attic. So, if that were to become a bigger problem, especially in the attic, then, that would have been very expensive. So they're going to have to get a new hot water heater. But yeah, for anybody who has not installed or set up some of these little water sensors, I've got so many of these around my house. I got a couple more here I need to set up and move around. And it doesn't have to be Aqara, any water sensors, but the Aqara ones are super affordable and they work well. Like I said, I think they've saved my parents a couple of times at this point. So I just want to share that because I am a huge fan of using water sensors. Also in our Discord server, our member Discord server, I've heard time and time again where other members have shared similar stories. So definitely a good thing to have. What's up, Robert? So just stopped by to say hello. Have a great day. Thanks, Robert. Hope you have a good day too. Thanks for stopping by. Mike. Yeah, does anybody else have any water sensor stories? I know there's been a number of them in our Discord server, and I've just heard over the years. So, and I just had a good friend who had massive water damage, who did not have any water sensors. He does now, but had to redo their whole kitchen, their living room. It was a mess. So, big fan of water sensors. Oh, Mark says, just took a dive into Home Assistant and will soon be adding a Pro Max 24 PoE switch. Very nice. Working hard on your smart home over there. Rose's Raw Reality from California. Got the G5 Pro about a week or so ago. Super excited to put it outside. I'm also making my dad a portable outlet with an extension cord and Eve outlets. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds like a fun project there. Nice. Yeah, Sam said I had water damage. I hate to hear that. It's always, man, water damage can be just so bad and so expensive to fix if you ever had this. But it says, I didn't have any water sensors in my kitchen at the time, but I do now. That's the same thing that I've done. Basically, anywhere that I have once had a leak, there is now a water sensor. Dishwasher, I've had a leak before. Washing machine, I've had a leak before. In my attic, I've had a leak. So I got water sensors in all of those spots now, just in case. Joe, 30 months of membership using his member chat for the month. Thank you, Joe, so much for being a channel member and for all the channel members here. I see we got a few in the chat. Joe says, non-work talk. That's cool. I'm always a fan of switching up a little bit. Says, really love that Daredevil lighting in your Instagram story. Love the Netflix Marvel shows and was pleased with yesterday's episodes. Nice. Yeah, so if you guys didn't check it out or don't follow me on Instagram, I posted a little reel of my studio setup. We were, getting ready for Daredevil, and no spoilers. Actually, somebody left a spoiler in that Instagram story, which is kind of a bummer because I actually didn't watch the whole episode yet. So that was a bummer. But yeah, so I was a huge fan of the Daredevil series. I'm a big fan, always been a big fan of a lot of the Marvel stuff. Some of their newer series are not so good, but their older stuff, definitely Daredevil was a huge fan, Punisher. And when that first came out, I think I watched some of that with my son when he was younger, but my daughter was too young. Well, she's a big Marvel fan, and now, I saw that the new series was coming out, so my daughter and I have actually been, I was like, watch this show. I warned her. I was like, it's very violent, so, warning there. But she's 14 now, and so she watched a couple episodes and was like hooked. She absolutely loves it. So we've been binging the whole original series from Netflix, and I think we got like maybe one more season to go. So we're gonna get through that, and then we'll pick up and watch the new series. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Really excited to watch the new stuff. Don, my man, thank you so much. I'm trying to find your chat so I can highlight it here. I am looking too at ways to switch up my live stream chats, which I might be doing in the very near future if things start looking a little bit different. Where are you at, Don? There it is. Oh wait, Don said I have around 15 Aqara water sensors in my house. Only caught one leak, but it caught the one leak. Very nice. Sorry, Don, I'm trying to find, there it is. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Don, for that. Don just gifted 5 memberships, and YouTube will kind of randomly select who gets those. Let me make sure I got all that. Yeah, so Layer Bear, Matt, Greg, Russ. Oh, George gifted some too. Oh, George gifted 20 memberships. Dang, sorry, man. I'm a little late on there. George, hey, man. George has been drinking, having a good time. Man, thank you so much, George, for gifting 20 memberships. Man, you guys are awesome. Don and George, you guys for gifting channel memberships. So 25 people in the chat just got gifted memberships. So I guess I should clarify for those that don't know, as a channel member, you get some little perks. So with this gifted membership, you get a month of membership and having those perks. So you get early access to new videos. We do have that monthly, or we have that member Discord server where you can get access now to. So all you have to do is connect your YouTube account in Discord, and you can get access to our Discord member server, which is an awesome place to hang out and chat and ask questions if you're building a smart home. So definitely check that out if you have a channel membership. Also, we do a monthly video chat with the members. So we're actually doing that today, this evening, which I probably should have mentioned earlier in the stream. But if you're a channel member over on Discord this evening, about 30 minutes after we wrap up this stream, we'll be doing our monthly video hangout over there, kind of like a Zoom call, but it's in Discord. And we just kind of hang out and talk about our smart homes and stuff like that. It's just a good, casual, fun time. We do once a month on the first Wednesday of every month. And yeah, so a lot of you guys have access to all that now for a month. And then, after that month, you can renew if you want, or you don't have to. But yeah, it's also a great way to help support this channel. So I appreciate all of you channel members out there who do that on the regular. And once again, thanks to George and Don for gifting all those memberships. Somebody says, "Stop, George. Memberships and intoxications don't mix." Man, yeah, I am. Like I said, I'm jealous. I think about that. Edgar said that's the Miami effect. I haven't spent much time in Miami, but I do love other parts of Florida. But haven't been to Miami very much myself. A couple of strawberry kush from a place called Tap 42 had me feeling generous. Well, thank you again. That's funny. Yeah, George always likes those fruity drinks, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Especially when you're on vacation. Nothing wrong with that at all. So let's jump into a couple of the things that I wanted to share with you. A couple of new products that kind of came across my radar in the past week or so. First up, and I did release a video on this last Sunday, but let me get my switcher. Oh, and I forgot to. Okay, there we go. We're good. So this is the SwitchBot roller shades, and just wanted to share this with you for one in case you missed the video, but this video is on the channel now. And two, there was a little bit of talk in the comments about the discount codes and stuff, and some people were having issues and everything. Well, anyways, I wanted to share that I did get an updated discount code, and right now they're running 40% off, it looks like, on most of these. Let's see if we go with the extra large. Okay, that's 36% off. But I've got a discount code for 45% off. And so I did put that down in the description below. I did also update the description of that video in case anybody's interested in ordering some of these. But these are adjustable roller shades. So it's the first adjustable smart shades or adjustable shades period that I've ever seen. So it was pretty interesting. I was really curious on how something like this would work and kind of the installation process and everything. So we were able to cover it on the channel, and hopefully you guys are able to enjoy that video. Question, isn't the middle of the shades pretty ugly? It's really not that bad. I mean, you have to watch my video, I think, and kind of, maybe you did watch it already. It's not that bad. I mean, that was one of the downsides that I mentioned, is you can kind of see that adjustable section there. I'm trying to see if there's any good photos here on their website of that. It's really best to watch the video, I think, because you can really see what it looks like in real life. It's pretty subtle. It's not that bad. It's not as clean as your completely custom shades, you know what I mean? Because you do kind of see that adjustable section, but it's really not that bad, I don't think. Especially for the price. The price is very affordable compared to most shades or most smart shades. So, it's kind of give and take there, I suppose. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you could cover it up. Like I mentioned that in the video, you could do some sort of balance, I'm sure, or make your own or something like that. Or, maybe even use curtains or something like that. Oh, Jayware. Okay, nice. So you got some yourself and said we don't even notice it. The SwitchBot shade is in our bathroom. Okay, so don't even notice the little that section right there that we were talking about. So that's nice. Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy? My man Jimmy in the house from Georgia. Another great channel. Saw you posted a long form video the other day. Jimmy is more known on TikTok, I think. Kind of got his start there, but awesome smart home content. And glad to see you making some longer videos too, man. Awesome to have you here in the chat. Good to see you, as always. Sam says, I do love SwitchBot products, but it's kind of annoying that it still needs to connect to the internet, and I wish they would move over to Thread. Yeah, well, yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, they need to connect to their hub, which requires the internet access to use something like HomeKit. But the blinds are actually Bluetooth. So if you're running something like Home Assistant, you should be. And I don't know if anybody has used these with Home Assistant. I haven't connected mine directly to Home Assistant. But I know like there are other products like the blind tilts and stuff because they connect over Bluetooth. You can pair those directly to Home Assistant if you're using something like that. And that should be completely local and wouldn't require any internet access and wouldn't require their hub. But for basically all the other stuff like Amazon, Google, HomeKit, you will need to use their hub. Matter. They support Matter through their hub, basically. Yeah, so Jayware says it was a bear to install though. Had to wait until everyone left. No noise. I'm working here. Yeah, I agree. That was another one of the cons that I mentioned in, I think in my video was that they were a bear to install. I agree. They took a lot longer than your typical installation. I've installed a ton of shades and blinds and stuff over the years. And these took the longest because I had to cut them. If you're lucky and you don't have to cut them and yours just happens to fit, perfectly in your window, then it would be, I think, just as easy as any smart shade. But if you have to cut them and resize them, it definitely does take some time. Nice. Looking through the chat here. You can connect SwitchBot Bluetooth devices to Homey Pro too. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So you can connect those directly to Homey, I guess through SwitchBot Bluetooth, I guess. All right, nice. I haven't tried to do that either, so good to know. Eric Wheelander's in the house. What's up, Eric? Man, we got all the great smart home content creators here in the house. Good to see everybody, man. This is awesome. Eric says, I continue to enjoy the SwitchBot CO2 sensor. I don't use it for automation, but just to know when my office is getting full of my hot air. Nice. Yeah, I actually think I have one of those that I still have not set up. And I need to do that. I need to get that thing out of the box and set it up here, probably in my desk. My room is pretty spacious, so I don't know how bad it gets in here, but that would be really nice to know and just kind of check out. I do actually have an air purifier back there, so it's not a SwitchBot one, but I guess I could create an automation to kick that on maybe if the room gets full of my hot air. So yeah, that's a good reminder. I need to do that. Oh, good question. Brian from Chicago says, how long is that code good for? So I was told it should be good through March. So yeah, if I recall correctly, it should be good through March. I think I put a date in the description down below, so that would just confirm. So I guess I should have mentioned that too. The discount code is in the description of this live stream. So if you just want to check that out later or whatever, it should be down there. And I'm pretty sure I put the deadline or the cutoff day for that down there as well. All right, some other smart home devices that kind of were released recently. Let's see this right here. So there's a new ecobee smart thermostat. It's called the Smart Thermostat Essential. This is new. This was announced, I believe it was announced at CES this year. So you can see it's way more affordable than some of their other ones. I'm going to scroll down. So if you guys aren't familiar with ecobee, they're, I would say, my preferred smart thermostat. It's what I've been using for a long time. And yeah, so these are some of the other ones, right? So you got the premium, the enhanced, and now we have the Smart Thermostat Essential. So the Smart Thermostat Essential, this new one is basically like a more baseline version. And this is just, I think this is basically replacing the ecobee 3 Lite, which is an older one. It kind of doesn't have some of the other features. So if we compare, you can see it does support HomeKit. So you can get this into HomeKit. I think I'm still using one of the ecobee 3 Lites, and then I got a premium. I've got 2 ecobee thermostats in my house. But you can see some of the comparisons here. Let me scroll up so you can maybe see the different names. But they all support HomeKit. The premium actually has Siri built in. Sorry if I just triggered your devices. I may have just triggered mine. But I actually never use that because I have HomePods like right near, in the same room. So I actually never use that built-in voice assistant capability there, but they do support Amazon's voice assistant. So a big difference here is that these 2 models don't have an indoor air quality monitor. The premium does. Also, there's no built-in occupancy sensor on the Essential. So that's another big factor. That's another thing that I really don't use. So, I would be okay with the Essential. I think the screen, I don't know, the screen does look pretty good there. So I haven't seen this one in person. But yeah, I think this one for a HomeKit user might be just fine. And what's really nice is that you can still use the smart sensors. So it doesn't come with any like this one does, but you can still use them. And that is basically my favorite thing about the ecobee thermostats is these little smart sensors that you can place throughout the house, and you can kind of create, you can create like schedules and stuff that will maybe use certain sensors and not use other sensors during certain times of the day or at night. So you can really kind of fine tune the cooling and heating of your house. So that's one of my favorite things. So it's nice that you can still use those with that cheaper model. Dawn celebrates 33 months of membership. Thank you, Dawn, for being a channel member for so long. Says, we love our smart wings, and the simplicity of installation and better diversity of fabrics is worth the extra cost. Yes, I think I'm a big fan of smart wings also, and yeah, I've got a bunch of those. I'm using the outdoor smart wing shades actually, and I did install some of the indoor ones for some friends. Lots of fabric options. I think really if you're kind of weighing your options between the shades, I think it comes down to probably to your budget. That's really the big selling point, I think, for the smart wings, or for the SwitchBot shades, is they're just a lot more affordable. They're pretty close to like half the cost, just depending on the size and everything. So it just depends. If you got the money, by all means, go more premium, get the get the nicer ones. But sometimes you have a lot of windows, it can really add up. So again, it comes down to to each their own, I think. But yeah, great. Smart wings are great also, yeah, I definitely do like using those. I will say though, I do like the ability to with the SwitchBot ones where you don't have to like have exact measurements before you order, because it is sometimes hard to get those measurements just right. And if you have little gaps or whatever on either sides of your roller shades, it can be kind of annoying. So the ability to like resize them and get them to fit each window perfectly with the SwitchBot ones is kind of nice. But again, they're not as premium as, something like Smart Wings or the Eve shades and stuff like that. Get what you pay for, kind of, I see we got some questions here. I'm going to try to save all these questions that I see, and we'll come back to these in a minute. Oh, Don says, I have an ecobee Premium and never use the voice assistant as well. Like you have HomePods and HomePod minis everywhere. Yeah, same here. Zane said, I wish one day we can watch Shane, George, and Eric in one collaboration video. That would be fun, wouldn't it? What do you say, guys? We should probably make that happen one day. Let's do it. I've actually been playing around with the idea of like getting guests on and maybe doing some different things with the channel. So, you know, I welcome any feedback like this. Love to hear what you guys want to see. And yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. So maybe we can make that happen one day. Eric says, yes, he's down. And I'm sure Miami George is down. Yeah, Miami George is down. So let's do it. That would be fun. We'll get the ball rolling on that maybe. All right. Next thing. Lastly, I did want to share. We'll get to questions here very soon. Lastly, I did want to share this because this is a new smart lock that is not available yet, but you can order it for $1. So right here, this is a smart lock from Eufy. It says the new era begins. They kind of have this weird thing going on with this like pre-sale. They're all showing everybody waving because it has palm reading technology built into this smart lock. So I don't know if anybody has used a lock with palm reading technology built in. We're seeing more of these now. I don't know that I've seen one that supports HomeKit yet. So let's see if we go enjoy the benefits. So basically what they're doing is if you pre-order this now essentially, or if you can get a $70 coupon if you pay $1 right now for this. And I think this is supposed to come out at it might be April. I don't see it on here when they're going to be shipping. Oh yeah, sorry, shipping in early April. At that time, they'll send you a coupon for this. But what's cool about this right here, not only does it have the palm reading technology, but it also has a camera and a doorbell built in, which is pretty sweet. And on top of that, if you've used smart locks before, you'll probably appreciate this, but it has a dual battery system. So it has, 4 AA batteries on top of the main rechargeable battery. So when your main battery dies, you can take it out, charge it up, USB-C, and then your backup batteries will take over while that's charging, which is a really nice little bonus. Here's some of the specs here. Another thing that's really awesome about this, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Right here, it has a screen on the inside of the lock. So I wish I had a better image of that or a bigger image of that, but you kind of wonder like, what good is that for? You know, like to have it, like you're already standing at your door. What good is that? Honestly, like as somebody, you know, who has a family, I've got a wife, kids, you know, my daughter here. I'm actually always telling them like, don't answer the door to anybody. You know what I mean? You always see like these stories and incidents online where somebody answers the door, somebody posing as like a cop or the exterminator or a delivery guy or something, and it's not, you know, and somebody with bad intentions. And so like I always tell them, just don't answer the door, anybody you don't know. And what's really nice about having a screen like this is that you can, you know, without open the door or looking through the blinds or anything, you can see who's standing on the other side of the door. And if you don't know them, you just don't answer the door. So I really like that. I would definitely tell my family to like use that anytime somebody's at the door that they're not expecting. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? How much is it? So I don't think they have a list price on here. All they're really saying, it looks like, is that you can get $70 off. I don't see a final price, but it does support Matter and Apple Home, which is interesting. So I kind of want to check this one out. I've done a lot of smart locks, but this one's unique because it has all that other stuff built in. It does support Matter. Now, Matter doesn't support cameras yet, so I'm curious if we're just going to be able to get the lock into HomeKit. I think that's probably the case, and probably not the camera. But looks like it might be worth one worth checking out. The prices are under the pictures. Thank you, Don. Where did I miss that? Oh, duh. See, that's what happens when I'm just sitting here rambling. I miss the obvious sometimes. Thank you, Don. $3.99 for this one. So I guess you get $70 off if you kind of take advantage of that pre-launch thing. This one right here, I believe this one also has, this looks like this has the palm reader on it as well. Palm vein unlocking. Also supports Matter. So the big difference with this one, it looks like, it has the camera and everything too. Just looks like this one doesn't have the screen on the inside. So I think that's the big difference between this one and the S3 Max, the S3 and the S3 Max. Dan asked if it has HomeKey. It does not look like it has HomeKey. Usually when a lock supports HomeKey, they kind of have images on with HomeKey. We're not seeing that anywhere, and I don't see here when they're talking about the home automation and Matter and Apple Home. Google Home, Smart Things. Yeah, they don't say anything about HomeKey, so I don't think this has HomeKey. But, with that Palm Vein reader and the keypad and stuff, I mean, if the Palm reader works well enough, I don't know, you might not even really care about HomeKey. I've kind of noticed that, like, I know my wife, we kind of talked about this before, my wife doesn't care about HomeKey. She never used it. To her, it's a pain in the butt to pull out her phone. She doesn't wear an Apple Watch. So, for a lot of times, like just a fingerprint reader or this palm vein thing might even be easier than Apple HomeKey. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of HomeKey, but I could see with certain locks, I may not would use it if it has some of these other kind of ways to unlock the door, Palm takes over HomeKey, Trent says. Ben says, no HomeKey, big L for me. Yeah, I think, I'd probably be okay with no HomeKey as long as the Palm reader works well and it still supports HomeKit. Like, I do want to include it in my HomeKit automations for sure, my smart locks. But if I have another way that's just as easy or convenient as HomeKit, as HomeKey, or more convenient, then, I'd probably be okay with it. That's her problem. She needs to wear the Apple Watch. Yeah. I don't know. I tried. It's not happening for her. She actually likes the keypad. And the keypad is nice. We've learned that it's good for us to have a keypad in our house. So I like that it has that. Good point. Corey says at that price point, you might as well wait for ultra wideband. Yeah. Well, we are going to be seeing some ultra wideband locks come out sometime this year. I'm wondering if that's going to be one of those features like on the Apple side that just gets delayed and delayed. I hope not. Hopefully it'll be before the next iOS release since it was announced last year at WWDC. But I mean, it's kind of what happened with robot vacuums. It just keeps getting delayed and delayed. So I could see that being delayed even further. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully this year, sooner rather than later, we'll see some ultra wideband locks that support ultra wideband unlocking in the Apple Home app. But I don't know. Got to have a key minimum. Keypad is great as well. Yeah, and this one does have a key too. So you can like pop off the little doorbell button and there's an actual keyhole behind that. So I do like that it's hidden. I know some people need to have a key. Some people don't like actual physical keys because it's actually more of a security thing, I guess. People can pick the lock or whatever. But, at least this one's kind of hidden, which is nice. Zane says, I would never buy a lock without HomeKey. That said, I use fingerprint 95% of the time. So that's kind of my point. So if you use your fingerprint 95% of the time and let's say the lock is super reliable. It still supports HomeKit, so you're using your automations and all that. And it's got everything you need except for HomeKey, but it has a fingerprint scanner. You still wouldn't be down for that? I mean, I'm saying if you use the fingerprint all the time. All right, let me go to some of the questions. And yeah, we'll start doing questions. So I've got some that I saved and I flagged from the stream. I know there's been a few here and there. So feel free to ask your question, and do, if you can, preface your comment with the word question for me, and that'll kind of help it stick out a little bit. Yeah, Jayware, I hear you're still waiting for some actual intelligence in Apple Intelligence. Yeah, you and me both. Let's see. All right. Buddy says, if I'm selling my home, what's the best way to transfer the smart home devices? So I don't know if you mean transfer like to a new person, or to transfer your smart devices to your new house. I'm not really sure which you're referring to there. Sam, what's up, Sam? Man, Sam just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining. Oh my gosh. Whoa, I think we're going to hit a record here today. Sam and then George gifted 20 more memberships. Man, thank you guys. Sam, Gabby, George, Langerbeer, you guys are awesome. George just gifted 20 more memberships. So, I mean, Jose, Automated House. Hey, you're a member, Automated House. I hope to see you in our Discord server, maybe. Sam, Mattia, Buddy. I mean, there's too many to list here. Kevin, Dennis, Sigmund Judge. What's up, Sigmund Judge? Jason, Adriano, Ben, Eric. Again, too many to list here. Lots of new channel members. Thank you guys once again for being so generous and gifting those memberships. Would love to see you guys over in the Discord server. Again, that's a great place to ask questions. Like sometimes I can't get to all the questions in these live streams. And if you're a channel member, I highly recommend going over there to our Discord server. You can ask your question there in any of the relevant channels that we have set up. Or you can also tag me, or you can even DM me as well over there. And I always prioritize that in terms of like getting back to people and stuff, because it gets kind of hard with all the different social platforms. But I get in the Discord server every day. And also there's just like some really smart, awesome people in our Discord server who can probably answer your questions better than I can half the time. So just a lot of good interactions over there. So I highly encourage you, if you are a channel member, to check out our member Discord server if you're building a smart home and have any questions or anything like that. Yeah, Edgar said Discord party tonight. That's right. That's right. We're going to be over there. So like I said, about 30 minutes after this stream, we'll do our member chat over there, our monthly member hangout. So that's always a lot of fun. Oh, thank you, Ben. Ben said Discord alone is worth the price of admission aside from supporting the channel. Man, thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate that. First of all, I appreciate you wanting to support the channel. And I'm also glad that the Discord server and, some of those member perks have been beneficial to you. I'm really glad. It's been a great place for me as well. Like I can go in there and kind of interact and get feedback from you guys. And like I said, some really smart people in there. So I've gotten some support and help with certain things that I don't know that much about too over there. So great place. Do they serve bourbon in the Discord server? Yeah, sure. Why not? I think I've had a drink or two in some of those monthly member chats. Oh, nice. That's a good comment. So yeah, we got a little off track there with all the membership giveaways. Once again, appreciate that, guys. But Don, back to the question. So Don, thank you for keeping me on track here. It says it's important to consult with your realtor about local laws. I was required to leave anything that was physically installed when the house was shown. That's interesting. Very good point. I hadn't thought of that. So I guess if you're showing the house and you have like light switches, smart switches installed, I guess you have to keep them in there before you move. So you can't according to Don, and it depends on your local laws, I'm sure, but if you show your house with it, you have to sell your house with it. So you can't remove those before you move. So that's good to know. If you want to take your smart switches with you, remove them before you start showing your house. Very good to know. Thank you for that, Don. Oh, appreciate it, Travis. Travis says, Shane's Discord rocks. It's been super helpful. Awesome, man. Thank you, Travis. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, so back to that question. Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what smart home devices you have. Like for me, I've thought about smart switches. I think will be the toughest thing. Like, do I want to go and replace all my smart switches again? They're pretty expensive if you have like Lutron, for example, all throughout your house. So that might be worth removing all of your switches to take with you. It would definitely be some work. I have saved all my old dumb switches, so I don't know. I would replace all mine back with the dumb switches. But if not, then you would just want to leave the hub behind, so probably that the new owner could use the devices, and just they would just have to reset it and set it up themselves, I'm sure. Lurk Jerk says, does the Aqara M3 make a difference even when you have a G5, or is the G5 an upgrade enough over the M2? Not really sure what you mean in terms of this question. So the G5 and the M3 both have a lot of the same capabilities. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're considering like upgrading from the M2 to an M3. It probably just depends on like what features you're looking for. Like, I mean, the G5 has thread built in, and it's like a Matter controller and stuff. But I think the big difference is probably thread. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on what features you're looking for, I think. But I mean, if you have a G5 and an M2, I cannot really imagine there's much need to get an M3. But, I have to take a close look at kind of your needs there, I think. Let me jump back in the chat. Oh, Don says he did not actually leave his Lutron hub behind because it was not physically installed. Yeah, and that is a good point too, and that's why smart switches are great. The Lutron switches could function as dumb switches, and did leave the instructions for making them smart. There you go. So yeah, you could do that, and now that is what's good. If the new owners don't want to deal with it, they still work just as a dumb switch if you need to. Glad to hear, George, you took your hangover pills. The advice of Caroline Whatley. Yeah, she swears by those things, man. They do help. I've used them a time or two as well. Oh, okay. So, Larger, you're thinking of upgrading the hub, but also about getting the G5. I see. Yeah, so with that, I think it just depends, like I said, what features are you looking for? I actually don't really even use the hub features of the G5 at all. And I guess it's just, what features you're looking to upgrade. I mean, the M2 is still a great hub. If you're just using your Aqara hub as a Zigbee hub to get, your Zigbee Aqara devices into HomeKit and stuff like that through Matter or whatever, really the M2 I think is probably just fine. There might be some small improvements, I guess, for that, but it's really not a whole lot. The big thing they're selling with those hub capabilities is like the thread capabilities and stuff, and I just don't really use that for what I do. Like, I don't really use the Aqara app for like adding Matter devices into the Aqara app and stuff, but you could, let's see. Paul says, for motorized blinds, would you recommend running power to the window frame or just stick with battery powered or solar powered blinds? Again, entirely subjective there. If you can have something hardwired and never have to worry about power, then I say go for it. But if you're building a house, then maybe you can do that easier than if your house is already built. I mean, if my house is already built, I probably wouldn't do that because, that would be just a lot of work and everything, maybe expensive. I'm perfectly fine with solar panels in most places. We actually had a conversation in our Discord server recently where some people did not like solar panels because of the way they look from the outside. So I can see that point too. If you're, maybe your windows are like street facing and you don't want to see those solar panels, then maybe you wouldn't want that. I understand that. That said, I have solar panels around all of the windows on the back side of my house, and I love them because I never, ever, ever have to worry about charging them. And with that said, the battery capabilities on most of them are really great too. So even if you go with that route, most of them will last probably like 6 months or so, even without a solar panel. So, you just charge them up maybe once every 6 months or so. Some of them less than that. Like I've got Lutron Serena shades, for example, that take a whole bunch of those big D batteries. I think it's like 6 or 8 D batteries. It's a bunch of them, but those have lasted years and I've not had to change them once. And those shades can be hardwired too, but again, so it's just kind of weighing your options there, and depends on how much money you want to spend and what's worth the effort for your setup. And but I like solar panels again if you don't mind seeing them from the outside. Is the G5 compatible with the U50 lock? Yeah, so the G5 supports Thread, so you should be able to. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to add the you should be able to use it as a hub. So U50 lock, sorry, I was thinking U300. U50 is a Zigbee lock, so you should be able to connect that to the G5 because it does support Zigbee. Just be careful with the G5 because it's an outdoor camera, so location could be an issue. Like, if your G5 camera is like way outside, range is just something to consider when you're using a hub device outside to connect your other devices. But yeah, you should be able to use that. Okay, let me try to get to some more of these questions while we still have a little time. Do you need internet after adding a SwitchBot device to control it? So I have not directly, in theory, all HomeKit devices run locally. Now there are some edge cases where that's not really the case. I have not tested this that I can recall directly with the SwitchBot hub, but for like the SwitchBot Bluetooth devices, like the shades we were just talking about, and like the blind tilts and a lot of their Bluetooth devices, at least you should be able to control those with your phone over a direct Bluetooth connection. So even if the internet's out, you should still be able to use the app to control those because they use Bluetooth. And that wouldn't, when you're doing that, that shouldn't go through the hub. So the hub is mainly for like your smart home control and voice assistants and stuff like that, automations, things like that. Let's see. Andrew says, what's the best 3-way HomeKit switch that doesn't need a neutral wire? Okay, well, I'm a big fan of using Lutron Caseta dimmers. Their on-off switch does require a neutral, but the dimmers do not. They're expensive though, and they do require a Lutron hub. Now another one that just came out, I haven't tested this one yet, but I'm supposed to be getting one very soon. But this right here is the Aqara H2 switch. And it comes in a few variations. So you've got 4 button, 3 channels, 2 button, 2 channel, and then 2 button, 1 channel. And I know for a fact that the 2 button, 1 channel switch, so this one right here, you can use in a 3-way switch setup. So I don't know if they have that kind of displayed anywhere here. But this one I know can do it without a neutral wire, I'm pretty sure. I might have to double check that. 2-in-1 neutral switch. Yeah, the switch works with or without a neutral wire. And yeah, so some nice features here with this light switch too. But again, I haven't used this one. I don't know if anybody else has a recommendation for the best HomeKit switch that doesn't require a neutral. If you need a dimmer, or if you're interested in a dimmer, Lutron has been great. Oh, Wisp says I have the 2 button, 2 channel Aqara H2 US. How you guys liking that switch? Y'all let me know how you like that one. 'Cause like I said, I haven't tested that yet. I'm hoping to install one probably pretty soon. Yeah, I'm with you right there. Lutron, Caseta, Diva, those are fantastic. Get the the dimmer version, doesn't require a neutral switch. You can use the Pico remotes. Oh, okay, yeah, Innovelli White. I always forget about Innovelli White. Works in a 3-way without a neutral if you use an Innovelli auxiliary switch. Okay, nice. Thank you, Connor, for that. So yeah, Innovelli sells those auxiliary switches that you could use as like the second switch in your circuit. So yeah, good point there. And I wasn't sure about the neutral wire thing on that, so thanks for pointing that out. And I should mention too that Lutron Caseta also has, I think they call them accessory switches. So you can use, like, for your second switch, you can use an accessory switch, which is hardwired, or you can use a wireless Pico remote. Either one of those works. All right, any more questions I can get to? William says, I am looking to add new smart locks to my home, and I'm a big fan of Shelly maybe and Code Plus. Does anyone know when there's a new version coming out? I am not familiar with that, so sorry, not much help on that one. Quality Scrub says, do you know how to add Aqara devices to Home Assistant? So far, I've tried adding my Aqara hub to HomeKit and then added that hub into Home Assistant so I can keep HomeKey on my U50. Is there a better way of doing it? So if you want to add the hub itself and you want to still use it in like HomeKit, I would do it through Matter. I mean, I've been able to do that, pretty easily. So you just, once you have it, if you're using it with Matter, your Aqara hub with Matter in the Home app, create the pairing code, put it in pairing mode in the Home app, copy the code, and then add that to Home Assistant. And you should be able to add it as a Matter hub over there in Home Assistant in the same way you do HomeKit. Jake says, what would be the best way to get my garage door opener into HomeKit? Looking at the Maris MSG 100, but curious if better options. Yeah, there's better options. I'm not going to go on a tangent about Maris, but I don't recommend Maris. There are reasons for that, but this is what I would use. And I've done a whole video on this, and I'm a big fan of this. Everyone that I know who has installed one of these has liked it. There are some features that make it better than... I used the Maris garage door opener for quite a while before I installed this. This thing right here is heavy duty. It's built like a tank. It works really well in HomeKit for me. And yeah, this is the Tailwind garage door opener. Check out my video on YouTube if you haven't already about this. I think I have a discount code for this. Let me see if I still have that listed down here. Here, I think you can use Shane Whatley, just my first and last name. I'm gonna post this in the chat. Hopefully this works. I'm going to try to post this link. I don't know if that link worked. Maybe. But yeah, use Shane Whatley, and I think you can get a 10% off discount code. I think that's still valid. So, and this thing actually has these cool little like vehicle sensors that you can get if that's something you would use, which I talked about a little bit in my video. But this is what I've been using, and I've been a big fan of these. Oh, nice. Thank you, Hayden. I appreciate you watching and supporting the channel. Do you know which smart products will control the fan speed? So for a ceiling fan, Lutron Caseta, that's my go-to. That's my favorite. If your fan is controlled by a light switch, that's what I use throughout my house to control the fan speeds. And you can control it at 4 different fan speeds there. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for all the questions. Like I said, if you're a channel member and I didn't get to your question today, definitely hit me up over in Discord or just ask the community over there. Like I said, we've got, I should pull up the Discord server here and just kind of show you guys a little bit. Oh, it's not going to let me show in because I'm in a private window here, so it won't let me log in. Should have done that sooner. I should have to show you guys. But yeah, we've got different channels in there for like every kind of smart device, smart locks, blinds. We just added one for robot vacuums because those are coming soon to Apple Home. And we've got advanced sections for like Homebridge, Home Assistant, everything over there in our Discord server. So if you are a channel member, maybe you're a new channel member, definitely check that out. And like I said, if I didn't get to answer your question today, you can ask me or you can ask the whole group over there in Discord and interact over there. And also, like I said, this evening in about 30 minutes, we'll be starting our members only monthly video chat in the Discord server. So always a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys there, those of you who are channel members. And for everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out today during this live stream. Always fun talking smart home stuff with you all. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos and good stuff coming. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. All right, God bless.